Welcome to a new episode of Miller Time with Big T and Blake Miller. Blake, how's it going?
What's happening?
And not a whole lot. Just another Monday in paradise.
You can say that.
What'd you do today?
I saw your ugly face for a little while, and you put me to work.
Yeah,
so, that was good.
I appreciate you cutting your old man's grass for the first
Mm-hmm.
time in 5 years.
Not true.
You saved me $70.
Yep.
At least for this week. So that was good. That was good. So I'm going to tell a little story about what the hell happened last night at 3:00 in the morning. What was all that going on, man?
We had an intruder. Somebody tried to break in the house in the car.
I think that was like a dream of yours.
I'm telling you.
So just to let everybody know, at 3:00 in the morning, Blake Miller comes busting in my bedroom saying, somebody's breaking in my car. What'd I do? What'd I do? I said, go do something, call 911. And so the police showed up. You talked to them. What happened?
We found fingerprints on my car. It was, it was wet from the dew, but nothing was missing. There's no look. Just move on. Who cares?
Okay. You don't want to talk about that.
No, it's stupid. It's over.
Okay.
Jeez.
Well, anyway, it was kind of funny.
All this stuff's happening, and you want to talk about that.
Well, all right, let's talk about what happened. Since we were on last, remember we tried to get Bray Hubbard to commit. And what did he do? He went up the very next day and committed. We tried to, come up with a scoop, and I guess he just wouldn't let us have it, but I'm glad for him. And, that seems to be a good move
Just
for him.
And to clarify, Bryson Hubbard committed to Alabama.
Right. So that was a good move for him. And I know that's hard for somebody to pass that up. And hopefully he'll be successful and, more importantly, lead the grounds to victory this fall. That's the most important thing coming up on his plate. So we'll see how that goes. So also, since we've been here, who won the national championship? The Ole Miss Rebels.
Right there.
Toddy. We just took that right from under Mississippi State. Only let them have it 1 year.
Hate that for them.
But I'm glad we were able to do that. That was, and
still really don't believe it. But
just so everybody knows, we've got a special guest coming on in a few minutes. Mitch Murell from Ocean Springs is a member of the Ole Miss baseball team, and maybe some other players will be with him. So we look to have him on in a few minutes. But that was a great 2 weeks. I've talked to Mitch's dad, and he spent 11 days out there, and they must have had a large time. I can only imagine, how that worked out. Did some of the fam go out there, Blake?
Yeah, you had Tate, Ferris, and Nadia, Ferris's fiance.
Yeah. They were out there for the championship, I guess. So I'm sure that was exciting, and I know there was some other local folks there. So that was a good trip. And the biggest winner out of that whole deal, I think, was I don't know if you kept up with the place that was selling the Jello shots.
What's up?
Did you see that?
Yeah.
They sold to Ole Miss. Was it like 18,000?
Yeah.
At $4.50 a pop. So who was the big winner there? It was the bar.
Oh yeah. That's just from one school.
Yeah. But that's
over $80,000 from one school.
I saw where they were. The bar was donating some of that money somewhere.
Well, that's good. Didn't know that.
But I mean, yeah, they were the big renters, $4.50 a pop. Come on. But anyway,
Cost them
that was
20 cents to
a
make.
good trip. So let's talk about the British Open and Live Golf. So what's the latest on that? I mean, that was an exquisite performance by Cam Smith yesterday. I mean, 30 coming home, that's pretty tough to beat.
Come on.
And talk about Roy, what did you tell me he did?
He hit 18 greens, all 18 greens, and shot 2 under.
Wow. He just couldn't buy a putt.
Yeah.
I watched it and I was kind of pulling for him, but
so he's beaten 97.5% of all the players in every major this year, and didn't win one.
wow. He's right on the verge, Joe. He's on the verge. So what's the deal? You know, I keep hearing rumors a day that Cam Smith's going to Live Golf.
That's what everybody's talking. I mean, I think from every major or after every big tournament, whoever wins it's going to be, big rumor to.
I'm sure they're making a run at him.
Yeah. Well, they're making a run at him.
What do you think's going to happen once they get this situated? Will those guys even be able to play in the majors? That's going to be
Well, why won't they be? PGA Tour don't have nothing to do with the majors.
Well, you got to qualify for them. So how are they going to be able to qualify?
Well, most of the guys that are going, most of them, well, I say most of them, but probably half of them are already qualified. I mean, Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson, I mean, as of right now, if you're a Andy Ogletree, the guy from Mississippi that's played on the Live Golf Tour, I mean, he won't ever play in a major.
What about
other than the U.S. Open?
National?
Well,
are those guys going to be invited?
Well, it's an invitation.
Yeah, do you think they're going to invite them? I guess the past champions they would.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. That could very well be like the deciding factor. If Augusta decides that we're not inviting those guys, that's big.
Yeah.
That could be the key. Because I mean, the U.S. Open, anybody can, all those guys, if they're not in it, they can try and make it.
Right.
The PGA, you have to qualify for that, so that might be out for most of them. And then the same thing with the British Open.
What do you think about Henrik Stenson giving up his Ryder Cup cap? I mean,
I think he's an idiot.
Yeah. I mean,
but I mean, if all these guys are going to all these guys that are already on there, I guess, are they going to put on the Ryder Cup team? Brooks Koepka, Dustin Johnson,
I don't think they'll
Patrick
be
Reed.
qualified.
I mean, are they going to be able to be on it? So I mean, if all the top guys are going to Live Golf, then what's the Ryder Cup going to be? Nothing.
Well, not all the top guys are going to go, I don't think. But,
yeah, but I mean, a good chunk of them have.
Yeah. The one right now that would be, I'm not sure even Brooks Koepka's qualified for the Ryder Cup now.
Well, I mean, yeah. None of the guys that are on it have been, setting the world on fire recently.
I saw where Live Golf was having during the British Open, they were touting their own scoreboard. Dustin Johnson, but it didn't show that he was 8 behind the real leaders.
Yeah, they were toting their own scoreboard, and it was literally an Excel spreadsheet.
Yeah.
They couldn't come up with something better looking than an Excel spreadsheet. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They wasted all their money on buying players, and they can't even buy a graphic designer. Come on.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's gonna play out. I may be surprised, but I guess they play in 2 weeks. They play at a Trump course.
Yeah.
Here in the States. So we'll see how that shakes.
Yeah.
So anyway, so SEC Media Days, did you keep up with that today?
I've been watching it. Mm-hmm.
I saw a little bit of Lane Kiffin today. He kind of took credit for the Ole Miss baseball championship.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, talking about the mustard.
Yeah. And I saw where somebody stopped him and had him sign a mustard bottle.
Yep.
Did you see that? A Tennessee guy.
Sure did.
So I listened to Brian Kelly a little bit, and, from LSU, and the guy from Missouri. In the morning, John McDade, the supervisor official, is going to speak. So I may try to catch that. And then we had our JUCO officials camp this weekend in Starville. Took me a little while to get the stench out there, but I scrubbed down. We had a good camp, and had some good speakers, and I thought it went pretty well. Excited for the season. Get going September 1st. It's our first game. So what did you have a takeaway from that?
Oh, it was good.
Yeah. So okay, well let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with Mitch, and we'll say hello to our sponsor, the office, real quick. We'll talk about them again, but we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with Miller Time with Big T and Blake. Well, welcome back to Miller Time with Big T and Blake. We're excited to have two members of the national champion Ole Miss Rebels joining us tonight. First, we have Mitch Murell from Ocean Springs right here, a former Greyhound, and he's joined by his teammate Jackson Kimbrell from Birmingham, Alabama. Guys, how y'all doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are y'all?
We're doing great. Well, we certainly appreciate y'all jumping on here and joining us. So how's your day been? I understand y'all were helping with a camp or something today.
Oh, yes, sir. We had kids from 5 to 13 today, from about 7 to 4.
Well,
We
good.
had some workouts after that. So it was a long day.
Yeah, 380 kids is a lot to watch after. So
yeah.
Well, so now is Coach Bianco back in the States now, or?
yes, they got back. I want to say late last night, something like that.
Yeah.
And they didn't they end up with a bronze medal?
Yes, sir. They did.
Yeah, and two of your teammates were playing on that team, right?
Yes, sir. Hunter Elliott and Jacob Gonzalez.
Right. I saw where I was kind of keeping up with them a little bit, and seemed like they did a good job out there. Well, that's great that they're back. So I guess the last couple of weeks kind of been a whirlwind for you guys.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
How was did you enjoy the parade and all that good stuff after the fact?
Yes, sir. It was hard to believe we were even doing it. Just everything happened so fast. We won. I guess it was Sunday. Flew back in Monday. Got off the bus, went through the Walk of Champions. Everybody's lined up through the Grove.
Right.
Get back on the bus, go straight to the field, do a whole ceremony with the trophy, and our athletic director, Keith Carter, and Coach B and Tate Reeves even came and talked. So that was really cool.
Well,
and then we had the parade, obviously, and it's just a lot. It was really cool.
Right. Well, I tell you what, being a long time, I went to school at Ole Miss, and my daughter graduated there, and my brother lives in Oxford, and all his kids graduated there. It was a great feeling. But I will say this: you guys had me nervous about the middle of April. I was kind of one of the guys that was like, oh my gosh, I know the season started off with great expectations, and you kind of went through a lull there, and one thing I was going to ask you was, I know it's hard to pinpoint, but did y'all feel like there was something that happened that kind of made y'all turn the corner and get the ship righted just in time, or did it just kind of happen naturally?
Well, I want to say, like, towards the back half of our slump, like our midseason slump and everything, we actually started playing a little bit better, like, especially at Arkansas. We actually played really well, but we just couldn't win the games. And then I think we played Missouri the next weekend at home, and we played the exact same way we did Arkansas, but we finally won. We're like, all right, we can do this. After we swept them, we just went on a tear. We started pitching well. We started having the timely hits. And I think that's what kind of hurt us during that lull is we just weren't getting those timely hits to score runs. Like, we'd still have 10 plus hits a game, but we'd leave them on base every time. And when we finally started getting those hits, it became contagious. And you hear that in baseball all the time, hitting's contagious. And it just carried on, and it never slowed down. It just kept on going, like, into the playoffs and then eventually into Omaha. So,
yeah. Well, I tell you, like I said, and Blake can tell you, we talked all during the season about the baseball, and I love Coach Bianco, but it was almost to the point where, man, I didn't want to see that happen. But it's so great that you guys kind of overcame some adversity and made it, even more special. I believe that the way you were able to turn around and get things going. So, Mitch, tell me, how you kind of ended up at Ole Miss. I mean, I know you pitched here and pitched for Coach Ray for the Greyhounds, and did they come recruit you pretty hard, or did you look at some other places to go?
Well, I did the whole travel ball circuit through high school. Went all over the place, played in Atlanta and down in Fort Myers. And I got seen by Ole Miss the first time up here at one of their it was with the East Coast Sox at one of their tournaments, and we're playing at Ole Miss, and that was when Coach Laugh saw me for the first time, and actually got offered that day, and we were going to a big tournament in Atlanta the next week, so I kind of wanted to wait before I committed. I knew I really wanted to go here, but I just wanted to make sure I was making the right decision, so I waited a week. Went to Atlanta, played there because I had a couple more schools coming to watch me, and then ended up committing the week after that.
All right. And so, Jackson, you got kind of the same story, or how did you end up at Ole Miss?
Yes, sir. I want to say it was my my summer going into sophomore year. I had an outing in Atlanta at the WWBAs, and Ole Miss actually was there to watch Hayden Dunhurst, who just got drafted.
Right.
And another kid that was committed on our team. And I pitched against the East Cobb Astros and did really well. And they didn't offer me yet, but I had two other schools offer me. And as soon as they offered me, Laugh got my contact information, started contacting me. I came up in the fall, like in the middle of football season. I had a game on Friday night, came up to Oxford, pitched in front of Laugh and them on Saturday at one of their camps here, and then got offered. So
great.
Committed shortly thereafter.
So how much eligibility do y'all have left?
We each have 2 years left.
Mm-hmm.
2 years, and you both got an extra year because of the COVID year.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, Blake, jump in here anytime.
Yeah, just talk about the season. Y'all are ranked number 1 early there. Lost to Tennessee, and I guess that was kind of the start of a slump. When in the season did y'all kind of think that, like, okay, we can make a run and we can go deep in the postseason? There was something that clicked. I know y'all mentioned the Arkansas series. Was it that, or was it a little bit after that?
I think it was really the LSU series when we went down there and swept them. It was when, like, everybody was like, okay. It was like huge. Like, obviously we went into
hadn't happened in like 30 years.
Right. And going into the SEC tournament, we lost that one to Vandy, but we were still, like, they threw their ace against us. We lost in like a 1-run ball game. Like, we still had the confidence to go in, like, okay, we can do this. Like getting hot's a real thing, and we felt like we could easily do it and get far. But Yeah, it was big to go down to Miami and go undefeated in that too.
I think once they let us in the tournament, because we were kind of on the edge, like, hey, are we going to make this or not? We were on the
Yeah,
bubble. But then once we made it into the tournament, we're like, all right, there's no way somebody's going to stop us, especially going down to Miami, play Arizona game 1. Like, we wanted revenge on them from last year because they knocked
right.
us out in the supers, obviously. So once we beat them, we were just ready to go. I didn't feel like anybody could stop us.
So you got great pitching, all through the tournament. And I know you guys probably didn't pitch as much as you wanted to this year, but for next year, do y'all figure more into the equation as far as getting innings and things like that, or how does that look for you guys moving forward?
I would think so, just because of how many veterans we've had get drafted this year, and how many so few of us that are left. And we have a lot of new guys coming in that are obviously really good, but I feel like we'll need a couple older guys like us to pitch well.
Right. Now, the guys that got drafted, can any of those still decide to come back, or how does that work?
I feel like until they sign, technically, yes, they could come back. I think the 2 freshmen that got drafted are pretty much for sure going, just because they got the money that they wanted and asked for.
And this is guys that are supposed to be coming in next year, right?
Yes, sir. Jackson Ferris and Roman Anthony. I'm pretty sure they're both just going to sign.
Right.
I would imagine DeLucia would take what he got. I really don't know how much he got, but I feel like he would take that. So
Right. And I guess everybody else doesn't have any eligibility left, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, Elko, is he just as good a leader as he seems to be, just from reading everything about him? Hell, they want to build a statue of him. Are y'all in love with that guy or what?
He's a man. He's everything you see on TV is true. There's no fluff. Like, he's just that guy.
Right.
He's the captain. Like, we all look up to him, and he's a great role model, great leader.
Now your dad told me that he was down here on the coast last week or so. Is that right?
Yes, sir. I took him fishing.
That he wasn't much of a fisherman. Is that right?
Yeah, we broke off on a really big cobia, one of the bigger ones I've seen.
Yeah.
But we had a good time.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Next time you bring some guys to Ocean Springs, y'all need to try to come by and see me. We'll shoot the bull for a minute.
Yes, sir.
But moving forward, let's talk a little bit about, first of all, Southern Miss. Blake lives in Hattiesburg, and he came and watched y'all play there. How big was that environment there? They kind of showed out there. They had a big fan base there, and I know there was a lot of Ole Miss people there, but that seemed to be a pretty good environment for the state of Mississippi to show up for that series there.
Yes, sir. It was it's not the biggest park in the world, but when they don't so many Ole Miss fans tickets, they pack up on top of you. It gets pretty loud there. They had a really good crowd, even in the outfield and that right field section and down the right field line. They were extremely loud, and it was extremely hot, so you could just feel all the elements on top of you.
Yeah, they have that turf field, which probably adds to the heat there, and but that was 2 great games that y'all were able to gut it out and get those victories. And Blake, you want to ask them about Omaha and how they felt about that trip?
Yeah, just talk about the time in Omaha. Y'all were there for what, 11 days, 10 days, something like that, almost 2 weeks.
It felt like forever.
Yeah, it felt like a month. But we were having fun every day nonetheless. Yeah.
So how much time did y'all have between games? What was the schedule between the games? There in the beginning part.
So once we started games, we always had that late game every night, it seemed like. So after we win, we'd go back to the hotel, get some food, go to bed, and then we'd have to wake up pretty early for practice. Just because we were practicing on a turf field, they kind of wanted to keep us out of the heat and everything. And then after practice, we'd come back, and then we'd kind of have lunch on our own, or we might go to a restaurant, or I think one day we went to the zoo to kind of hang out, walk around there.
On TikTok.
You saw that on TikTok?
Yeah.
So Volusia with his giraffe.
Yeah, I sure did. Yeah.
But we just kind of hang out, walk around Omaha. They gave us some free time, so if we wanted to go watch a game at the stadium, we could. Or we just kind of walk around town, go eat somewhere cool. So it was nice.
Mitch, I'll have to tell you this. I watched the first game, Auburn game, on my buddy's 52-foot trawler at Horn Island in his cabin there with his big TV. So that was a pretty good setting for the victory over Auburn.
Yeah, that's a hell of a place to watch it.
Yeah. So we had a good time. But as the week progressed, obviously, and Blake can tell you, Blake and I were in Arkansas the week before the tournament started. We were up there for a officiating camp, and on the local TV spot, they had a little show about Arkansas baseball going to the World Series. And one of the things that they interviewed some of their players. I don't know if this got back to y'all, but they said that one of the players said, we're not really worried about Ole Miss and Auburn. We're more worried about Stanford. And I thought to myself, I hope Ole Miss goes out there and smacks that butt, and fortunately you did, but I know that's kind of a big rivalry for you guys and turned out well in that setting. I know that was pretty tough to take them down twice, but you had good pitching both games, and that's what DeLuca pitched the complete game, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. That was pretty
against
good.
them. And that was a great performance by him. I mean, is there do y'all work like on pitch counts, or I mean, for him to go that complete game is kind of unusual in baseball nowadays, but is there any thought to ever bringing him out, or do y'all know how that transpired?
Well, typically, like, the unspoken rule is like once you get up to 120, 125 pitches for a starter, that's typically about the highest they go. But I think DeLucia was a little bit below that, and he bounces back really, really quickly as far as soreness and everything like that. He's a really quick recovery guy, and he has never complained about arm pain or anything like that.
Right.
So they knew they can extend him, and he could be ready on 4 days rest for his next start if they needed him. But he was rolling so well that I don't think they ever considered taking him out.
Yeah, I mean that was just an amazing performance, and Hunter Elliott pitched well in several of his games too. So I guess that's the key, is getting that starting pitching and really having three guys for the SEC weekends is the big key. So that worked out well. So let's talk about, are y'all, since you've been back from Omaha, are you guys playing any baseball this summer, or what have y'all been up to? I mean, I know some guys go play in wooden bat leagues, but what have you guys been up to since then?
Well, for me, we got back that Monday. I had a summer class that started that Thursday that we got back. So I think we had that parade on Tuesday or Wednesday, and I was in the classroom the next day, taking class, working out, lifting and everything like that. And then last week we started one of our first camps. So I've just been doing class and working camp back.
So Jackson, what's your major in?
Finance.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
sir.
Mitch, what are you majoring in?
General business.
Well, that's the most important thing, is getting that schoolwork done, guys, because you're not going to be able to play baseball forever.
Right.
So get that done. So coming into the fall, y'all start fall ball like in October or September, or
I
how does
want
that
to
work?
one weekend in September, I think, when we officially start like practicing and inter squatting and all that fun stuff. So
Y'all play any games during the fall at all, or against other schools, or
We'll
just
typically play.
inter-squad?
We'll typically play two. One a little bit, probably 2 or 3 weeks into the fall, the third weekend, and then we'll play another one 2 weekends after that. Like last year, we played Arkansas, Little Rock, and then we played Alabama, and it's
Okay.
basically
2 7-inning games.
Yeah, 2 7-inning games.
Right. And you get a lot of work during the fall and keep your arms, arm strength going and all that good stuff. So is anybody from the coast coming up there now besides you, Mitch, or are you the only one?
Yes, sir. There's a right-handed pitcher from Biloxi, Patrick Galley. He's up here this summer. He's in the freshman class.
Okay, is that we know him, Blake?
I don't think so.
Gallet's son?
I know a couple people last name Galley, but I don't know Patrick.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, guys, we're certainly appreciating you jumping in with us tonight. We look forward to keeping up with your progress, and hopefully, Ole Miss will come back and get ready and repeat as national champs.
Yes, sir.
That's what we're looking for, and now we've got to focus on getting a Rebel football team in that same mode.
Yeah, give us some insight on the football team. Y'all got any predictions? Since it's SEC media days, I just got done listening to Coach Kiffin talk a little bit.
Honestly, we've been so busy, like in Omaha the past couple weeks, or not the past couple weeks, but before that, like we really haven't heard much about football. I mean, it's all been baseball, and then of course the draft going on today. Just trying to figure out who's all coming back, who's all staying, all that kind of stuff.
Right. Well, one thing I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about, Omaha was kind of like Swayze Field, wasn't it? How many people were there?
It felt like, I think they said it was close to 28,000 people in the stadium altogether, and I'm pretty sure it felt like there was 27,000 Ole Miss fans. It was just like, it felt like a football game, but just we had all Ole Miss fans. It was
how crazy was it when 3 home runs back to back to back?
No.
Compare that to another sporting event on loudness scale.
I wasn't at the Ole Miss Alabama game where we beat them here, but I had to feel like it's something like that.
It's almost as loud as like a walk-off, kind of. Like I would equivalent, like that's how loud it is to another sporting event though, like football.
It'd be hard to get close to a football game because there's so many more people there.
Yeah, just for us, just
a first down, maybe.
But that was
the one thing Blake and I were talking about before y'all jumped on was seemed like the big winner was Rocco's in Omaha. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, that was
the
insane.
bar there. I guess y'all didn't go there. Hopefully you didn't. But they sold like 18,000 Jello shots to Ole Miss fans at $4.50 a pop. Rocco's made out like a bandit there.
I know.
Well, they ended up us in Arkansas bought so many that they ended up doing half the profits they split them up. Half went to Arkansas food pantry in Fayetteville, and then half went to one in Oxford.
Yeah, I heard
that off of them.
That was good that they did that, because maybe your dad went and partook of that. You think?
I doubt it.
He told me he was there for 11 days, and it sounded like he had a good time while he was there.
He did.
So did your mom get to go too?
Yes, sir. My dad, my mom, and my sister were all there.
Well, good. Well, that's great, man. I'm glad that you got to share that with them. And guys, we're certainly proud of you and proud of the, even more proud of young men that you are and represent Ole Miss and in respective schools and hometowns. And we're excited for you, and I know big things are ahead. And we'll keep rolling with the Rebels and hotty toddy.
Well, yes, sir.
So,
Thank you so much.
Thank y'all for
We'll
having
have this we'll have this up probably Blake, when maybe tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
We'll let you know. And thank y'all for taking your time out. I know y'all got a lot of things going in Oxford. Head on down to the library now, I guess.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thomas. Thank you.
All
Blake.
right. Y'all have a great
Yep.
day.
Y'all
Yes,
have a
sir.
good one.
Thank y'all for having us.
Thank you. Well, welcome back to Miller Time with Big T and Blake. Well, Blake, that was a good little segment with Mitch and Jackson. What'd you think?
Good to be in the presence of two national champions
I hear you, man. I tell you, that's them
and
boys
national
will
champions from Ole Miss at that.
Yeah,
Still crazy to even think about.
them boys will they'll live in Ole Miss history right there. And they seem to be two kids with good heads on their shoulders, and it's good to have them represent the university in their hometown. So that was good to get a little feedback. I look forward to both of them, get some more innings next year, and being a bigger part of the program. So what you got going the rest of the week here?
In the summer, the same
Middle
old
of
stuff.
Middle of summer doldrums.
Yeah, I guess you could call it that.
Any
Got a
golf?
couple things coming up.
Any golf outings you got?
Yeah, we got one this week, and then pretty much you got this one this week, and then our member guest here in a couple weeks. So just gearing up for that.
And then it's football, balls to the wall.
Football season's here, it's here.
So yeah, we're excited for football to be here, and basically we're in the football mode. So we'll be starting to focus on that as we move forward. So
we didn't get to talk about it too much before we took a break, but we were talking about the clinic this past weekend. Why don't you tell people kind of what that is and what our officials doing at this time of the year?
Well, we are, I annually have a preseason officiating camp clinic that we come together, and we had coaches there and officials. We talk about obviously the new rules that are coming into effect this season. We talk about our mechanics. We talk about our crews. We talk about how we're going to handle certain things throughout the year. And it's just a way for us to kind of get the ball rolling on, the preparation for 2022 or whatever season may be. And we had, I guess, 65 to 70 people there, right around there. And, it was a good weekend for, a learning setting. Plus, it's also a good way for us it's really the only time that we get together as a group throughout the year, and to build some camaraderie and, get to see each other as a whole group. So, it's always a good weekend for us to do that. And you were there, and so you got to kind of experience on the other side of the fence. So what do you think about it?
No, yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. It's for a conference, meaning we have 80 officials in a conference. This is the only time of the whole year that they meet together. The only time you see everybody, you know, and you try to get everybody on the same page for the season, and that happens by conference. So, we're the junior college MACCC of Mississippi. The SEC does that in coordination with the Sun Belt. And
Yeah.
does the Southern Conference go to that meeting
They
as well?
they go to the SEC meeting, yeah.
So you got every conference is doing that.
Yeah, I've been
Same
to,
thing.
over the last 20 years, I've been to 2 or 3 of these every year. So,
Mhm.
it just kind of, you just have to roll with the punches. And this is the time of year for those events to be taking place. Even NFL officials will be meeting. They may have met, usually they meet the same weekend we do. And they may have met this weekend. So it worked out good, and we had a good time. And now we'll just have to figure out where we're going to be next year. So we'll do that and move forward.
Hopefully Oxford.
What's that?
Oxford, right?
Oxford. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We had some people talk about that. So anyway, well, I guess we'll wrap it up, Blake. Remember,
I'm losing them.
see the
I'm
office,
losing.
hang out. Tell them,
You there?
hope everybody has a good night. Take care. Drive safe.
All right. We didn't catch any of that, but